Greetings everyone, welcome back to a new video. Let's talk about this computer today. I got this from a friend of mine a while back, a few months back, that his son was using and it stopped working at some point. What happened to it was the SSD died, like completely dead. We wouldn't even recognize in the computer anymore. And also the power supply fan was making quite the racket, like really loud, so that needed to be changed. Also the fans, don't know, all the fans are terrible. They're gone, they're shot, and they're very loud, and I doubt they're doing any kind of work anymore. So he decided against fixing it or getting new parts for it, just get a new one. This, keep in mind, was before the crazy apocalypse of the RAM prices that we have nowadays, which even graphic cards have gone up in prices, SSDs have gone up in prices, so it's all a mess. And because of that, I want to keep this, because my plan was to buy a new PC, a home PC, a tower, PC tower, because I've been running laptops for, I don't know, the last 15-20 years, because I've been moving around with my job. But now I get to spend a lot more time home, so I was like, yeah, let's see how PCs are doing nowadays. Let's buy one and, you know, enjoy a bit more quiet than a normal laptop, which is, well, quite loud actually, like a gaming laptop. So I was gonna build one, but again, since with the prices going up like crazy, well, I figured might as well try and get this one fixed and see if it actually does anything worth doing actually. As far as specs goes, this is actually really nice considering. This has got a i7-7700K. Like back in the day, this was the best CPU you could buy, and it was amazing, and actually still is. Spoiler alert. Video card as well is really good. It's a 2080 Ti, which is really nice. This one is from Phoenix. I don't know what that is. Motherboard is an MSI something or other. Doesn't matter. It's a motherboard. But in order to get it up and running, we're gonna need some new parts. The thing I have a problem with is this power supply. This is a really bad power supply. Like I said, the fan was iffy. It was really loud and almost broken. So I went in already and changed the fan to see how everything works, and no, the power supply is basically dead. I mean, it's an old PC. It's not necessarily the power supply's problem, but maybe you can see, maybe you can't. This is an Max, whatever, Max Pro. I forgot how big this is. I think it's like 600 watt power supply, which is not enough. I don't think it's enough for a 2080 Ti. I think even Nvidia recommended at least a 650 one. And what happens is, under high load with the CPU and the GPU, this thing shuts down. So yeah, this needs to go. Plus it feels really cheap, really bad. So for that I got, well, basically a brand that I recognized and higher capacity, 750. This is a Corsair CX750, obviously 750 watts, 80 plus bronze. Nothing special, but it comes with a warranty. It honestly weighs like half this whole tower does, so definitely a lot better quality than this Max Pro one that is already in here. And another thing I want to change is this cooler here. I really don't like it. The fan is very small, and I don't think it's doing quite a good job. Granted, it's been like 8 years or something like that, so definitely needs new thermal paste. And I'm gonna do the same for the GPU as well. And for the CPU, I got a fan. A cooler, not a fan. I mean, it has fans, but it's a cooler. Anyway, again, Max, whatever. It was honestly quite cheap, and it had a dual fan, and it was like $30, I think, something around those lines, maybe even less. But anyway, I'm gonna use this one. It's gonna be much better than the old one. So yeah, let's get on with it. Let's see if I can fix it. Let's see if it still shuts down after I change the power supply and replace all the thermal paste everywhere. And let's see if a 2080 Ti and a i7-7700K can still keep up in 20. And another thing I want to change is this cooler here. I really don't like it. The fan is very small, and I don't think it's doing quite a good job. Granted, it's who knows when this PC was put together, probably like 6-8 years ago. Yeah, when was the 77K out? 2018, I think, 19. So yeah, it's been like 8 years or something like that, so definitely needs new thermal paste. And I'm gonna do the same for the GPU as well. And for the CPU, I got a fan. A cooler, not a fan. I mean, it has fans, but it's a cooler. Anyway, again, Enermax, whatever. It was honestly quite cheap, and it had a dual fan, and it was like $30, I think, something around those lines, maybe even less. But anyway, gonna use this one. It's gonna be much better than the old one. So yeah, let's get on with it. Let's see if I can fix it. Let's see if it still shuts down after I change the power supply and replace all the thermal paste everywhere. And let's see if a 2080 Ti and a i7-7700K can still keep up in 2026 with gaming and general day-to-day use. So let's get started. Just starting out disassembling everything, found out this Phoenix 2080 Ti. It's actually a game mode card. This is a European thing. If you haven't heard of this, it's quite popular around here. I wouldn't say quite popular, but they're quite common around these parts. As you can see, I added an M.2 to the board. Luckily it had it. I salvaged it from a mini PC that I had. I didn't need that much storage in it. It's a 512 gig SATA SSD. This case is a pain in the butt to work in. It's very tight. Even though it fits a full RTX motherboard, it's still quite difficult to work in, and the cables and everything, it was a pain. Just cleaning up the board a little bit and cleaning up the old thermal paste and installing the new cooler, which was actually quite easy to do. I mean, not that easy. You just, replace the backplate with the one provided, and then you attach it with some screws. It was a bit of a pain to orient everything and tighten it down, but it turned out okay. It's quite a nice cooler, kept the CPU cooled enough, I guess. To be honest, I'm not sure if I installed the fans correctly. At least one of them I did. I'll have to look into it. Well, I haven't got a chance yet. But the fans have no indication of airflow on them, so I just installed them as I thought it would. It does the job, but maybe it can do it better. And with the new power supply, modular cables would have been nice, but it is what it is. Especially the CPU power cable was a pain in the butt to install, but I got it there. GPU, nothing special, just cleaned it up, changed the thermal paste. I had some thermal grizzly lying around from another time when I changed the fans on my laptop, and just used whatever was left, I used it here. And the GPU, honestly, the temperatures are amazing. It stays really, really cool, as you'll see in the benchmarks a bit later on. Not a lot of cable management possibilities or space, but it is what it is. If you're curious about the display on this cooler, here's a picture of it. Nothing special, it just tells you the RPMs and the temperature of the GPU and CPU. And it has a little app that runs when the computer starts to do that, but it's quite easy on the system resources. So yeah, if you don't want it, just don't install it and that's it. I really don't like this case that much. It's very tight, it's very weird, it's very, early 2000s in a way, with a lot of weird compartments and spaces. So, but I don't have the money yet to change it, so it'll have to do. Plus, I don't even have the cover for one of the left sides, so it's just gonna stay like this, open air. By the way, that's 32 gigs of DDR3. I got it like this, which is quite nice. 32 gigs is, still good enough, more than good enough for today's needs. Let's start off with a bit of gaming. All the games that I'm going to show are at 1440p, which is what my monitor is at. I have an Asus monitor, 144 Hz, 1440p resolution. So all the games that I'm going to show are going to be at this resolution. This is starting off light, Control, a bit older title. Everything's set to high. Again, running butter smooth, no hiccups, no nothing. If you do see any kind of hiccups or stutters, it's not because of the game. It wasn't apparent in the game. All the recordings you're gonna see are taken on the computer itself. So I didn't use an external capture device. That's why maybe there's a bit of stutter in the video, but it wasn't apparent in the gameplay while I was, gaming. But yeah, Control, still one of the greatest games I ever played. really good, running very smooth, and I'm pretty sure you can even turn on some of the eye candy like ray tracing, but I didn't for this game and this test, but it runs really, really good. Can't wait for the sequel, by the way. Hopefully it's gonna be out this year. Carrying on with a bit newer title, I mean, enhanced title. It's quite old title, but GTA 5 enhanced at the very high ray tracing preset at 1440p. Again, running butter smooth, no issues whatsoever. You can even get it to run better at a higher resolution if you turn off the ray tracing, if you don't care for it. To be honest, sometimes it's good, some games make really good use of it, some don't. Like GTA 5 really doesn't need ray tracing, in my opinion. It is enhanced, but it's not that big of a difference compared to the Legacy version that I would justify the extra running cost on the GPU that ray tracing has. Even though in most parts it's running great, when it hits the CPU with some kind of, I'm guessing, physics, calculating smoke and particles and stuff like that, which I'm guessing it's not doing in the graphics card. Although in most scenarios it's running great, in some circumstances it's really not that great. Like when it has to do calculations, I'm guessing in CPU for the physics and smoke and particles and stuff like that. I think they're doing it in the CPU side, not in the GPU. So it can slow down a bit. The poor i7-7700K is really showing its age, being just a 4-core, 8-thread CPU. So when there's a lot of explosions and stuff like that, it does tend to slow down a bit, as you can see. But again, you can turn down the resolutions and some of the effects and you'll still stay way above 60 FPS. Another great game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Again, running at the highest preset, 1440p, no issues whatsoever. Like, not at all, even in the jungle and really intensive scenarios and everything, if you can even call this game that intensive, to be honest. It's still running great, close to 100 FPS, no issues whatsoever. Now, the bane of every graphics card, Cyberpunk 2077, it's come a long way since this initial release when this graphics card could barely run it at 1080p, or above 60 FPS. Here we're running it with high ultra, no ray tracing, at 1440p, and we're getting around 60 FPS, which is running just great and details are amazing. But again, no ray tracing because you'd be surprised how much processing power ray tracing puts on the CPU. And because it's just a 4-core and it's not that powerful and from a while ago, well, ray tracing puts quite the hit on the CPU and obviously to your frame rates in general. As you can see here, the ray tracing overdrive preset, which the game actually suggested I go with, and FSR 3.1, at 1440p, we're getting a lot better, well, granted, due to the FSR upscaling, a lot better FPS way above 60 and quite playable. There are some shenanigans with the FSR. I mean, I can see some artifactings here and there, only when it's very fast motion. Maybe motion blur would have hit that a bit better, but I hate motion blur, so I turn it off on all my games. But it was running great, as is. But if you don't want ray tracing, just go with FSR, and well, you're getting way above 100 FPS at 1440p, and the game, to be honest, for me, looks just as good. You're still gonna have a blast with it. I had a blast with it. I think I finished it like 3 times. Yeah, I finished it 3 times already with all the classes, the Nomad, the City Gal, and the Corpo. So yeah, a lot of fun. I already have like 400 hours into this game. So, and played at way less quality than this. So if you want to have fun, you'll definitely have fun with this. Something a bit more modern, Hogwarts Legacy. Again, ultra preset at 1440p, way above 60 FPS. I mean, not way above, but above 60 FPS, and you'll be doing just fine. I don't know how battles will do. I haven't gotten that far into this game. I didn't get the time. I rarely get to have the time to play games anymore. But yeah, as far as I did, the game looks really good and it seems quite fun. I'll definitely play around more with it. But running just great. But again, I think we're CPU limited in this case, because Intel was laying on its laurels and just putting out 4-core CPUs for all their top-tier CPUs because, well, nobody had anything else better to offer, so they're just sitting on the sidewalk and putting out the same CPU with 2% or 5% increase year over year. with nothing to show until AMD came out with Ryzen, and then we started getting multiple core CPUs, more than 4 and 6, which these games certainly do take advantage of. And here we have Alan Wake 2 running in high ultra presets, 1440p. It's nothing special. I don't think this game is terribly well optimized, but honestly you can turn down from high or ultra and you'll get a much better frame rate at 1440p, and the details will still look really good. This game is a really, really good looking game. I really like this game. Liked it a lot. Can you tell I'm a fanboy of Remedy? Well, I am. Can't wait for the sequel to this one as well. Hopefully there is one. Or at least the remakes of Max Payne 1 and 2. Really looking forward to those as well. Trying up some competitive gaming, even though I don't have time for competitive gaming, maybe you guys do. This is Counter-Strike 2 running in high, 1440p. Well, no issues whatsoever, depends what you're doing. Included benchmark is way more demanding than the actual gameplay, but it's running just fine. If you're getting this for competitive gaming, well, whatever you throw at it, it's gonna run just fine. But enough about gaming, it clearly does its job at gaming. What about day-to-day use? To be honest, I've been using this for the past couple of weeks, 3 weeks, something like that, and it's running just great. Here I am editing this video actually, and it's running just great. 4K editing, no issues whatsoever. The only limitation is the SSD that's running on SATA 3, but actually I'm editing off of my NAS, so I'm just limited by the network speed, which is 1 gig on this motherboard. But as far as video rendering goes, compared to my i7-12500H and a 4060 mobile, because it's a laptop, well, it's really showing its age here. The CPU especially is really showing its age. I'm getting way better performance out of my laptop, but again, that's like a 12 core or 16 thread, CPU, so definitely it's gonna do a lot better than a 4 core one 8 thread. But everything else runs just great. The motherboard, by the way, which I forgot to mention, it's an MSI Z270A Pro. It's a motherboard, to be honest. There's not much difference in any of them, unless you go like really high end or really low end, or you really need the PCI lanes for some reason. If you're just sticking a graphics card inside, well, any motherboard will do, I guess. But if you want extra bells and features like more M.2 slots or extra Wi-Fi, special Wi-Fi, or who knows what else, well, then you'll have to pay for it. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just great. So yeah, really happy with this computer. Like I said, I haven't had a desktop PC in many years, and to be honest, I missed the quiet. I didn't know how much I missed the quiet compared to my gaming laptop. It's very quiet. Granted, the case still needs some more case fans to keep the temperatures in check, even though it's an open air case at the moment, since I don't have one of the side panels. Well, it still needs some case fans to keep the airflow somewhat oriented somewhere, because it's not doing a very good job yet. But as far as everything else goes, I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna be my main editing PC. It's running great, even if its rendering times are much longer than on my laptop. Well, I don't consider rendering time as work time. Turn on rendering and you go and you do something else. You go make dinner, I don't know, socialize, go outside. I don't consider that work time, but as far as editing and gaming and stuff like that, it's amazing. I've had a look online for prices for something similar, and well, they're not cheap, not yet. They're not expensive either, considering, but you will have to get it secondhand. Maybe you find some places where they offer some kind of warranty. I saw the 2080 Ti go for around the $200 to $250 mark. Maybe more, maybe less, depends on what area of the world you're in. i7 with a motherboard combo, the i7-7700K with a motherboard. Again, depends. Somewhere between $100 and $200. So yeah, not that expensive. Throw in a PSU for like $70, a cheap SSD for another $30-50, and maybe you have a monitor lying around, or just use your TV. And for the $500 to $600 mark, depending on how good you are at shopping and at finding bargains, well, you have quite the powerful gaming machine. And honestly, quite the powerful work machine as well. I would definitely go for it if you're in the lookout for something for gaming or productivity. This is running great, and again, for the price you can't complain. But you are getting used parts, second-hand parts, so there is a risk with that. There is no risk for me since I got it for free. Well, I had to invest some money in it to make it work, and I still have to. I still need case fans and a new case for this thing, but I'm really happy with it. Next thing would be to throw Linux on it, because honestly, I had enough of Windows for a while now. I've been running Linux on my servers for years. I don't know why I'm not running it on my main PCs as well. So next thing will be installing some kind of flavor of Linux on it, and well, just daily driving Linux from now on this PC. But that's the topic for another video. That's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like what you saw, please consider subscribing, and hopefully see you for the next one. Bye for now.